Dave, we're going to work on this 6-port single point connector here today. We've got the 4-port on here. We've got a 6-port on Johnny X. We're going to show you some details of how we're doing this. It won't be a complete install, but it's as close to an install video as you're going to see. Let's get started. Okay, Dave, this is, again, the 4-port that was already on this tractor. Now, there's 2 kits available for the 6-port. You can get the 6-port for tractors that don't have any single point connector. And then there's another variation for the tractors that do have
so there's
the 4-port already.
An upgraded 4-port, essentially, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have as many hoses with it because you reuse a lot of the same hoses.
Right.
Now, there's one style tractor that we don't have a kit for at present, and that is 2023 and 2024 models, maybe even further ones that have the factory installed 4-port. They have hard lines running all the way from here all the way up, and we don't have any way to connect to those hard lines. If you have that with the hard lines, yeah, you may have some exercise left to the reader or the installer in that situation, because we had a hard time making those fit. So Dave, let's let all the pressure off of the vertical up and down and the curl. And then we'll want to take these 4 lines here. Okay, we'll take those 4 lines there. We'll put them on the very same 4 lines on the top half of our 6-port adapter. Let's leave the loader on for now, because if we take the loader off, then we're going to have pressure on those lines, potentially.
Gotcha.
I think it'd be a little harder to deal with. And as far as leaving the 2 together, I think maybe, since we've got the pressure off, maybe we'll just leave the 2 halves together.
Okay.
And take these lines off here, put them on the new 6-port half, and then go from there.
Sounds good.
These are the other 2 lines that are direct connected to the tractor. That's going to be the second part of our project. Those are the 2 new ones we're going to be adding.
Perfect.
This is the top half of the new 6-port. And it will, by the way, fit on the 4-port. So we'll be able to do some test fitting as we go here. So you got a 3/4 there, right, Dave?
Yeah, 3/4, 11/16.
And then we'll be able to transfer those right over to this, which is the top half of the 6-port multifaster single point connector. We'll do the top half here first, and then we can take the loader off to get to the bottom half. As with any hydraulic project, shop towels are your friend. You just might as well get used to taking a bath in hydraulic oil.
It does tend to happen.
But that's why we want to make sure we let the pressure off, at least.
Then it just dribbles. It doesn't, take your fingers off. There's a term for that. What do they call that when it gets into your bloodstream? I forget what they call it. They talk about it with like the high pressure injection lines for diesels as well.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Leave a comment if you know the answer to that.
There you go.
So you took just one by one, we'll take the elbows out, put them right back in. These are 45s on mine. I can't say that the fittings on yours will be identical to mine because, well, mine's been taken off and putting back on and taken off and put back on. So it's entirely possible that my fittings don't match up with what you have. But if you have concerns and you want to get different angled fittings, these hoses are O-ring face seal. These holes are O-ring Boss. -6, I believe, in each one. So this 45 here is O-ring Boss to O-ring face seal. And you can see the face seal there in blue. That's the seal that is, well, on the face.
If it wasn't obvious why it's called that, it now is.
Well, I like to use some, high intelligence on this channel, Dave. You didn't even have a smart comeback on that.
No, I was trying to think of some dumb comment I read on there, but I couldn't come up with it quick enough, so.
3 different size wrenches required here: 3/4, 11/16, and 7/8.
I'm sure before it's all said and done, we'll have a 4th size.
Oh, I'm sure. O-ring face seal may be easy to understand, but I don't know why it's called O-ring Boss. O-R-B. I tell you what, We can make this easy, Dave. Let's take this 4-port, the top half out now. So we'll disconnect that. And remember, the 6-port is compatible. So you can put it right on there. Fasten it down, including fastening it onto the rag. It's always important.
Well, I just, was trying to use, we're out of Teflon tape.
Oh, okay.
So I just...
Shop towels.
Shop towels. They'll work in a pinch.
He's teasing about the Teflon tape. We don't need any thread seal of any kind on these types of threads. That's one of the advantages the O-rings do the sealing. Now, the beauty of these 45s is you can adjust those angles to your liking, right? Whatever works for you. It's kind of hard to manage these hoses. If you don't watch it, you get them sticking up, or you get them sticking into the side of the tractor hard enough that they want to rub the shine off of the plastic. And so that's what we're doing here. There does have to be some slack there, because when we take the loader off, we've got to be able to keep the hydraulics connected until we get it finally parked. So there has to be slack, and in this little of a tractor, the slack's just difficult to deal with. Okay, Dave, you got that all tightened up, right?
Yep.
So we've got it fully connected. We can actually operate the loader like this. So let's do that. Let's actually take the loader off the tractor now to get it out of our way so we can work on the bottom half, and to make it easier to get to these other 2 hoses here. On the non-self-leveling, at least the older ones, this is how you knew that you had the pressure released, was when these things came down. I think the very newest machines, they don't come back down on their own at all. But we've relieved most of the pressure. Even though this is a single point connector, and even though you have plenty of leverage, we still want to relieve as much pressure as we can there. So let's go ahead and take that off. Okay. And that sets right in there. And I'm not sure if that piece actually comes with the 6-port kit or not. I hope it does, but I'm not sure. Okay, now Dave, this is the whole reason we're going with the 6-port. See, even after we have that fancy connector, we still got 2 more hoses down hook. Okay, let's slide that loader up a little bit. Okay, why don't let's go ahead and finish this off. So these last 2 hoses are a little bit unpredictable, right? Like, we've got a Summit kit on this tractor, so we don't know what brand of kit you might have. In other words, what type of threads you're going to have right here. Okay? So we're going to need to take that apart right there. And that looks to me like that's going to be JIC, which may work perfectly for us. I don't know, but we'll take that apart, and then this is a place where we may have to get involved with our local hydraulics shop. On the other hand, if you have the Deere kit, it should have face seal connectors just like this. These adapters should work. Everybody should be happy. You put them on, it's great. But since we have a third function kit, we're going to have to probably
figure out what they used.
DIY on the adapters for this. So let's take this apart here, and the same on the other one. Now I'm going to my local hydraulics shop, which happens to be right here, thanks to my partners at Discount Hydraulic Hose. And I believe this right here is what I need, only this one's straight. This has ORB 06 to JIC 06. And then I also have a JIC 45, so I believe I can just accomplish the 45 like that. So first that, and then that. Let's see if it fits. So Dave, we're going to put that straight ORB in there, and it converts to JIC. JIC is 37 degrees right here.
Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Exactly. Kelvin. But I don't like that, Dave. I don't want it sticking up like that. So take that baby back off. That would have been fine for you, wouldn't it?
Yep.
How about we add this on here?
Add that?
On. Add that.
More leak points.
Well, if you'll notice, the other approach used only one fitting, right? I just didn't have a 45 that converted at the same time.
So I think my only complaint with that is it still sticks up out there. But
what I was thinking is now what we could do is we could zip tie this to these others because they're going to the same place. So we might change the way that works a little bit.
Right, reroute them a little bit.
Reroute them a little bit, and then I think we can maybe get them all together.
I think that's a fine idea.
It'll be interesting to see how the length of those hoses, because they were obviously not intended for the top of this 6-port. Be interesting to see how they look when we get finished.
Tim went ahead and zip tied the hoses up. We got it pretty much routed along the factory, more or less.
It's not perfect. I mean, this one's kind of shorter.
It's a little tight, but I think we're good. This should stay out of the way. We're well protected against brush getting in here and ripping these hoses out. And then on this side, you've obviously got the tractor. So,
and they're all going to be staying together here now, so we don't have to. We can keep them zip tied even closer here.
And I don't think we're going to have any issues with rubbing or anything like that. If we do, we'll do a little final touches when we put it on that tractor.
Okay, so I think we're done with the loader side.
Yep.
Why don't we raise the garage door and push that thing outside? These loader dollies are from deckdolly.com, and I love these things. Really nice. Go ahead and put the door up, and we'll just push this thing out of our way so I can talk about the next step. It's nice out there, Dave, but the air conditioning makes it nicer in here.
I agree. Takes the humidity out of it.
Okay, Dave, this part is going to be fairly specific to variation 1. When you get variation 1 of the kit, you get this bracket here. Okay, and it goes something like that. Okay, and the idea is that we have to lift and twist this thing just a little bit in order to get all 6 of the ports to fit because of this thumb right back here. So take this off, or if you want to do the hoses first, you can.
I think I'm going to do hoses.
However you want to do it, but we're going to eventually take the 4-port off, and we're going to take these bolts out, put this on, and mount the new one up there. Make sense?
Yep.
While you're doing that, I'm going to explain some of the differences here with the variation 3. So if you see this variation 1, it counts on getting the existing bracket from Deere. So this was the bracket. In fact, if you order it parts now to add on to your 1 series, you'll still get this bracket. And if you don't have one at all, you order variation 3, which comes with a bracket. And in this case, it's black. Okay. Now a little tidbit here, behind the scenes knowledge. Heavy Hitch actually makes this bracket for us. Okay, so we got multiple partners working together. The 6-port connector comes from Discount Hydraulic Hose, the full kit with all the hoses and everything, but the bracket, which again comes from Discount Hydraulic Hose, but it's actually made by Heavy Hitch. So pretty cool on that. In the case of the variation 3, there's no extension bracket, right? It's all built in. That way we've got plenty of room to get to all 6 hoses here. In that case, we definitely use 6 straight hoses. 4 of them, the middle 4, go down to here. And the other 2 go to your 3rd function, wherever that is. So variation 3 costs a little bit more, but that's the approach that you need if you don't have any single point connector. And I hope that helps you figure out which one you need.
We don't have to undo any of that. There's spring clips. Just pull.
Oh.
Is that okay?
No.
No?
The reason is because the new ones are connect under pressure.
Okay.
Dave, you brought up an interesting point here. These couplers right here, there's spring clips on the bottom of them, right?
Yes.
And so those couplers would come right out, and you'd think, hey, that's the easiest way to do this. I'll just reuse these 4, and I won't have to get the new ones on, right?
Right.
But There's a reason, if you've got an older one, at least like mine, these four are standard flat face couplers. The ones in the 6-port upgrade are connect under pressure couplers. Faster moved to those because they were having some O-ring issues. There's blue O-rings right under here, and those O-rings can go bad. I don't know if I can show you or not. If we can see them. We might, it's hard to see in there, but there are O-rings right under there that go bad if it's disconnected under pressure. So in order to alleviate that, they've gone to connect under pressure fittings, couplers, whatever. So we want to use the new ones, Dave.
Fair enough.
Now let's say you are in an upgrade situation and you have, say, a snow blower or a blade, and you want to be able to use it with your single point. If you have the existing 4-port top half, it's compatible as I've shown. So they can go both ways, right? The 6 can sit on top of the 4, or the 4 can sit on top of the 6. So if you are doing an upgrade, you may want to hold on to the top side of your 4-port. If not for you, you may want to try to sell it because somebody else may buy this 6-port upgrade and they may want to have a second attachment. So greentractortalk.com is a good place to list something like this. You could also reuse the 4-port for attachment or any number of other places that you might want quick connection. So I definitely wouldn't throw it away. Okay, here's the bracket installed, and we're ready now to put the new 6-port single point on those 2 holes. So those are those Allen head bolts so that they can go right down in there, not interfere with the top half when it's connected. Now the nuts on this are welded to that bracket. I don't believe that's the case on the other bracket. I don't believe the nuts are welded on. In fact, I've got one loose right here.
How many times can you say that fast? 6-port single point, 6-port single point.
Not very many. Your Variation 1 kit will come with 2 hoses like this. The Variation 3 kit will come with all 6 hoses. Now, mine included 45s and 90s, a kind of a variety pack, so that I could use the 45s if I wanted to. I could use the 90s. Again, it's JIC here to ORB here. I reused my existing couplers because they happen to be ORB as well. But if your existing couplers are pipe thread, like most of them, then there are new couplers included. And these couplers new ones that are included are Faster brand couplers. So they're just like the OEM ones. They're exactly the same part number as the Deere OEM couplers. The other end of these hoses are ORB, and that'll plug right in the bottom side of the 6-port adapter. Now, Dave, you're reusing the existing 4 hoses that we had. If you get the Variation 1 kit, you get new hoses, and the new hoses won't have the 45s there. The 45s, I think, are fine. Either way is fine. You'll actually see on my other tractor they're all straight, and I think they look really good like that. But the 45s we can make work as well. We'll probably want those eventually rotated inward as far as we can get them to get them out of the way. And you know, so in a sense, the 45s give you a little more flexibility, and sometimes they're a little more in the way. It just depends on what you need. But if you get Variation 3, you've got 6 new hoses, and you can use them as you see fit. The 45s, the 90s that are included with the kit. All 6 of the hoses are identical. ORB on one end, JIC on the other. So that gives you flexibility. Okay, I think yours is going to end up a little bit prettier than ours because you're going to have these 6 straight connectors at the top. We're reusing these 4, actually we're reusing 3 of the 4, and then we've got 3 with the straight connectors. We've just zip tied right here to get them all kind of corralled. I'll show you my other tractor. These are the straight connectors. The fittings are a little bit different than what you have, but the net result is the same. There'll be straight connectors, and then of course 2 of them go to the 3rd function. So these are laying in there a little bit better than my hodgepodge on this tractor. Hope you can see that little bracket in there now. This does raise up the multifaster. Another benefit of this is with the self-leveling loader, it gets it up a little higher so you can reach it in there with the extra bar that the self-leveling loader has. It's a little bit difficult to reach all the way down in here. You can get the 6-port coupler, discounthydraulichhose.com/TTWT. Use code TTWT for 5% off. Variation 1 is the upgrade for 2022 and earlier models. If someone has purchased, I believe it was BXX 10283, that's the part number that comes to mind, the original upgrade. Variation 3 is for tractors that don't have any single point connector at all. Tilt a little. Okay. There we go. Now we don't have a grapple on, but it would work, I promise you. Just too easy. Too easy. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you got questions about the 6-port single point, let me know. This particular model is only for the 1 Series and 2025R, second generation. There is a version for the 2038R. We'll show you that coming very soon. I've actually got a visitor coming. We're going to do an install of it very soon. Meanwhile, Dave, get this loader off. We got more stuff to do. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Instead, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of Him who is the head, that is Christ. From Him, the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time.
Tim, that was bad.